7 signs you're becoming a toxic person. Toxic people are everywhere. They can be your boss, coworker, family member, friend, or even you. While it's easy to spot the obvious signs of toxicity in other people, it's not always so easy to see when you're becoming toxic yourself. It's important to recognize when we're on this path because toxic behavior can cause a lot of harm in our lives and relationships with others if left unchecked. So here are some signs that you may be heading down this road. Number 1. Blaming others and avoiding self-responsibility. The first sign that you're becoming a toxic person is blaming others for your problems. By doing this, you're refusing to take responsibility for your actions, mistakes or feelings and thoughts. You may also be quick to blame others when things go wrong even if it's not their fault at all. In addition, toxic people don't accept responsibility for their own feelings, thoughts and actions. Instead of looking inward at themselves when something goes wrong in their lives, they look outward for someone else who is responsible for the problem instead of themselves being accountable for it. This could be anything from getting fired from a job/relationship ending badly. Toxic people will often try to manipulate others into feeling guilty so they can avoid taking personal accountability, by using guilt trips against them, which only makes everyone involved feel worse about themselves in the long run. Number 2. Lack of empathy and difficulty understanding others. This can be a tough quality to spot in yourself, but it's one of the most important indicators of toxicity. Empathy is an essential skill that can be learned with practice and patience. It's also a two-way street. If you want others to understand you, then you must first understand them. If someone says something rude or insensitive, don't instantly defend yourself. Rather, try to see what they were trying, and failing, to say from their point of view. This will help prevent misunderstandings and arguments down the road. Empathy is not just about understanding others, it's also about understanding yourself better too. When people are mean or callous towards us for no reason at all, we often find ourselves thinking things like, why do I let them get under my skin so easily? The answer is that many toxic people have no empathy towards anyone else except themselves. Therefore, if they're being rude or unkind with absolutely no justification whatsoever, it means they're probably doing it because they think there's nothing wrong with being rude/unkind. And guess what? There isn't anything wrong with being rude/unkind when there really isn't any justification whatsoever. Not even once. So if this sounds familiar, then chances are high that you aren't very empathetic either. Number 3. Manipulative behavior. Manipulative behavior is a way of getting what you want from other people. It's often used to control others, and can be subtle or overt. For example, a partner who manipulates their partner might give them gifts in order to keep them from leaving the relationship. This is an overt form of manipulation. Or if someone manipulates their coworker for money through subtle tactics like telling them about an upcoming project which requires more money than they have available, this could be considered a more subtle form of manipulation. Manipulative people may use their skills at manipulating others to gain attention or power over others in order to help themselves get ahead in life. Number 4. Belittling or demeaning others. As a society, we have long recognized that bullying and abuse are not acceptable. But it's important to recognize that belittling or demeaning others is a form of bullying and abuse, too. When you berate or insult the people around you, what you're really doing is using them as an emotional punching bag so that you can feel better about yourself. The problem isn't just that it hurts their feelings, it also erodes their confidence and self-worth, and makes them more vulnerable to being drawn into your toxic influence in the future. This kind of behavior indicates narcissism on your part. You think only of yourself while degrading others around you at every opportunity. It's manipulative because it allows you to control them by making them feel bad about themselves if they don't agree with whatever opinion you've decided upon for them. And if they do disagree with this opinion, which will likely happen, then they'll likely end up feeling worse than before in an attempt not just to secure approval from someone whom they see as superior, but also because now there's something wrong with who they are as well. Number 5. Making hurtful or negative comments. Making hurtful or negative comments is a surefire way to become a toxic person. But let's be real. We've all slipped up and said something we didn't mean at some point in our lives. The key is to be aware of when it's happening and make a conscious effort to stop. First of all, let's define what we mean by hurtful or negative comments. We're talking about those zingers that cut like a knife. The ones that make people want to crawl into a hole and hide. It could be something as simple as a snarky remark or as cruel as a full-blown verbal assault. But no matter how big or small, these comments can leave a lasting impact on the person on the receiving end. So why do we do it? Well, sometimes it's a knee-jerk reaction, a defense mechanism when we're feeling vulnerable. Other times, it's just plain meanness. But whatever the reason, it's important to remember that our words have power. They can build people up or tear them down, and it's crucial to be aware of the impact they may have. Now, let's talk about how to stop making these hurtful comments. The first step is to recognize when it's happening. Take a moment to pause before responding, and ask yourself if what you're about to say is necessary and kind. If it's not, hold your tongue. Another helpful tip is to put yourself in the other person's shoes. How would you feel if someone said that to you? Making hurtful or negative comments is a slippery slope that can lead to toxic behavior. But by being aware of when it's happening and making a conscious effort to stop, we can all do our part in creating a kinder, more compassionate world. Number 6. Difficulty maintaining healthy relationships. If you're toxic, it's impossible for you to have healthy relationships. Toxic people are selfish and self-centered. They lack empathy and the ability to listen. They tend to be controlling and manipulative, so even if they care about the people in their lives, they'll always put themselves first. It's an inevitable consequence of being toxic. Once your friends realize how awful you are, they're going to stop hanging out with you altogether. But what if becoming a better person means losing all your friends? That sounds like a total bummer, and not something I want on my conscience. Well, luckily there's another option. Just find new ones. A friend doesn't have to be someone who knows exactly what makes them tick. You can still connect with them without trying too hard or getting mixed up in their drama. If anything goes wrong between two friends, then that's totally fine, because there will always be someone else around who'll listen patiently while they vent about whatever happened between them last week. Number 7. Struggling to take criticism and reacting negatively to it. You're probably thinking, it's not a big deal if I can't take criticism. But if you're struggling to take criticism and are also prone to blowing up when someone gives it, there is a good chance that your low self-esteem is what's driving you. People with healthy self-esteem know that they have room for improvement and don't feel the need to prove themselves all the time. They can accept criticism as an opportunity for growth because it helps them improve their skills or abilities. If someone criticizes them, they see it as an opportunity to learn from what happened so that next time they won't make the same mistakes. People who struggle with their self-esteem often have trouble receiving feedback in general, negative or positive. This could be because of past experiences where people were mean or critical toward them without reason. However, it can also happen because they feel like other people don't respect them enough or value their opinion. When this happens frequently enough over time, these feelings start reflecting on how we perceive ourselves. And since our perception is reality, we start believing negative things about ourselves even though they aren't true. In order not become toxic ourselves this way, and instead become better versions of ourselves every day, we need practice taking constructive criticism in stride without feeling attacked personally by everything anyone says about us ever again. Toxic people are all around us, but they're not who we need to be. Top people can be charming, manipulative, and even charismatic. This makes them particularly dangerous because their behavior is often excused because of their ability to be nice. However, nobody wants to be around someone who puts others down and makes them feel bad about themselves. And there are plenty of ways for you to tell if you might fall into this category yourself. And that's it from this video.